I'm Daryl Guyan, and this is 14 to 0 golf. Today I'm going to be doing a driver special. I'm going to review my driver swing from 2018 and a driver swing from recently. You're going to see my progression from 100 mile per hour swing speed to 123 in the video. And I'm going to explain how I got there and how you can implement it into your game to help. And then also we've got a little video of some drills that I've done to get my ball speed and swing speed up to what it is. And I'll put that on at the end. I'll explain what I'm doing. What I used for the video was this. It's a swing speed trainer that I made myself. It's muddy because I ruined my lawn. My missus is going to kill me. You can see that in the video. But it's 2 golf balls, graphite shaft, grip, 8 screws and a big fat screw in the top with some glue. Simple as. You've probably got spare things like this in your house, so should be good. And then also my weighted club. You'll probably laugh at this one. It's an old Persimmon steel shaft manky grip, and if the screws weren't enough that I pumped into it, the 30 grams of lead, I stuck a 7-iron on there with some gaffer tape. But you know what, it was free and it's 22 ounces and you can make that yourself, and it will really help while you're stuck at home. Every time I make swing changes, I use my weighted club and I'll do thousands of repetitions until my muscles get used to it. While you're in lockdown, what better time? No one's going to see it. Make one yourself, see how you go. So enjoy the episode. I'll hit one for you. Scrap that, I'll hit another one for you because I didn't have the ball in the picture. I think I've got it this time. It was a really good one last time as well. So today I'm going to be comparing these 2 swings a year and a half apart. 100 miles per hour on the left, well, first swing, and second swing 123. Let's start with this video from 2018. Let's just put a green line up my left shoulder and a blue box around my head. This should give you a good picture of my movement during the swing. Let's take it back. So already you can see a massive move off the green line, and my head's starting to come out of the box already, and we're only waist high with the hands. So let's take it back a little further. Now, as you can see, I've made a massive move off of that green line, a long way, and my head has moved even further out of the box, and there's a slight dip, and my arms are only parallel with the ground, so there's still plenty of movement to come. You're starting to see the inside of my right thigh as well, which is not ideal. Let's take it to the top of the swing now. You can see my right eye is out of the box. My nose is down the line. There's a dip to my head. That's not great. And if you look down at my left thigh, that isn't even touching the green line. So I've shifted miles. My head is moved off the ball, and what you're going to see is also, I've not completed my shoulder turn really, but you're going to see a lunge at the ball now. Here, if you look at my left shoulder, it's past the green line, which I wouldn't be so bothered about if there wasn't the shift to the right in the backswing, because that's causing the problems. We've got a nice dip to the head, and
good ball strikers do tend to dip, so it's not a major deal if, as we come into the impact zone, if I was to raise the head, which I know I don't. Now let's compare it to this more recent swing. One thing I would like to change looking at this is that I'd like to have a little bit more spine tilt to the right, but that's not a big deal for the moment anyway. It's something I want to look at in the future possibly. Then again, I do have quite a low flight and it does help in the summer. As you can see, I've put another green line down my left shoulder, and let's pop a blue box around my head. So we should be able to get a good gist of my movement again. So let's take it further back in the backswing. And now here you see my hands are waist high, and my head's pretty nice in that box. I've not swayed too much off of that green line. As you can see, it's much more rotational, and what I'm liking is my left knee is starting to go back to the right, even further back in the backswing, and as you can see, head's well and truly in that box again. It really hasn't moved very much. I'm really happy with this. So let's take it into the... I couldn't be more happy with this backswing, to be honest. My head is so nicely in the box, which is good because that's going to allow me to dip a teeny bit and compress into the ball. But what's going to not happen is I ain't going to get too deep and get stuck inside, my arms stuck inside. I have not swayed off of that green line, and now if I twist into downswing, you'll see that in the downswing there's been the teeniest of dip with my head, and my head's come forward, which is a move that I kind of kept in, maybe even added in, because what that's going to allow me to do is rise up with my head and body as I come through impact, bringing my head back, and that's going to, explain it in a second, that's going to rotate my left shoulder backwards, and this is going to give me some extra space. Like I said, as you can see here, left shoulder hasn't passed that line anymore, and obviously it's going upwards and rotating my right shoulder towards the target. Left shoulder's coming up and back, and my head is coming back out of the box a bit. But because of the way I've moved forwards and kept my head so steady through the swing, that allows me to do these things. I'm so happy, and if you look at that left line impact, I couldn't be more happy. I think this is a perfect illustration of what I was saying. Left shoulder is coming up in the air now, isn't it? And the right shoulder's coming under, and my head has dropped back, but it isn't crazy back. It's rose up a little. It's done everything I would have wanted it to do. And this is probably why I strike my driver pretty well. I'm very happy with this, and as you can see on my right elbow, it's still bent, so that's got the power. Let's take us back to the first swing. Here you go. I've put a red line down my right leg, and that's going to illustrate, well, show you my movement off the ball, because like Ben Hogan used to always say, he used to use that as his post in his kind of A-frame. And what you want to really be trying to do is rotate around that. And I think, as you'll see in a second, let me just put a yellow line on my shoulders. This is going to be able to show you my rotation of the shoulders against that right leg. So if I take it back a little further, we're going to see, we'll go to waist high. Waist high, you can see I'm swaying off the ball, almost losing that red line. You're starting to see the inside of my thigh. And that yellow line, I would like to see that rotated more. Most pros, this is a big thing they're usually doing. By this point, halfway type thing, they normally have turned 45 degrees. And as you can see, there's not 45 degrees of turn there at all. And I'm moving off that line so much. So if they take it a further back again. Look at you can see the inside of my thigh. So I've tried to rotate them hips, but because I'm keeping that right leg bent, probably getting a lot of power through that, but it's completely lost it. But I've managed to get a 90-degree-ish shoulder turn, but it's just not enough. And then combine that with the lack of wrist cock, there really isn't enough power. I mean, 100 miles per hour is not enough for my kind of level that I was trying to get to. You can see there how much it's moved. Here again, I've put a red line down my right leg, so we'll be able to see if I rotate around that like it's a post. And let's put a yellow line across my shoulders so we can see how these rotate. I'm hoping to see this one rotate a lot more. Let's bring hands back up to the waist height, and here you can see I've got a decent amount of shoulder turn. Must be nearing 45 degrees at the halfway point at least. This one's slightly short, but it's not quite halfway. But you can see on the red line it's completely not moved on that leg. So I'm rotating around that nicely. Let's take it a little bit further back in the backswing. Oh no, all the way to the top. Now here you can see red line perfectly down my leg, and as you can see, the rotation that I've now created has made a huge shoulder turn, well past 90 degrees, which is probably one of the reasons why I'm getting so much power. The biggest reason is the rotation, and then the rotation back through the swing. But as you can see, I don't know why I put that arrow on. I'm going to put a comparison picture up here between the two swings, and this illustrates how much my shoulders are turning in the new swing. You can see just rotating around that leg rather than shifting has made them shoulders rotate closer to 45 degrees, which is going to make it much easier to create that 90-degree turn quicker and then go past it. And let's go to the top and you'll see the shoulder turn difference and the leg difference. And basically that's going to make it much easier for me to just now turn from the top and rotate as fast as I can, creating that kind of speed. So here you can see me practicing stretching into my right glute. I'm just trying to feel a kind of soreness in the right glute over and over. And then the same here, but with the weighted club you've got the added muscle memory. And as you can see, I'm trying to take my left heel off the floor and practice planting it down to initiate the downswing, and then kind of doing it over and over, to be honest. So yeah. And here I've changed to the speed trainer, and what I'm going to aim to do is build myself from 3/4 swings, then right hand swings as fast as I can, left hand swings, which I struggle with, as you'll see, and then into the full swing. And the aim in the full swing is going to be to just swing as hard and fast as I can. So basically rotating to the top and then just rotating as fast as I can. And basically what I've showed in my first two videos is how changing my rotation has literally fixed my plane and created tons of speed and control, and it's only really one change I've been implementing over a year. And this just shows that you don't have to be manipulating your hands and things like that. You can actually be thinking about rotating your hips, and from what I see, is the biggest issue in high handicappers.